Part 1. What if I told you that you were already a biohacker? Right now, today, without a single implant, without a laboratory, without any prescription. Every time you choose to sleep 8 hours instead of 6, you are hacking your biology. Every time you drink black coffee, track your steps, or swallow a vitamin D capsule in the morning, you are hacking your biology. And yet, most people have never heard the word biohacking. The ones who have, they picture a Silicon Valley CEO injecting stem cells into his bloodstream. They picture chips under the skin, CRISPR gene editing in a garage, Elon Musk dreaming about merging the human brain with machines. But here's the truth that science is just beginning to confirm. Biohacking is not reserved for tech billionaires. It is not experimental surgery or science fiction. It is the ancient, powerful, and revolutionary act of taking control of your own body and using knowledge, data, and intention to become the best version of yourself. And the biohacking movement is growing faster than any wellness trend in history. Wearable devices, sales went from 325 million in 2016 to over 722 million in 2019, projected to surpass 1 billion units worldwide. People are strapping sensors to their wrists, tracking their sleep cycles, monitoring their heart rate variability, measuring their glucose in real time. We are living in the age of the quantified self. And the question is no longer if you will biohack. The question is whether you will biohack consciously, with wisdom and intention, or unconsciously, following the crowd, getting lost in the noise of social media misinformation. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because what you are about to discover could change the way you live forever. This is biohacking, ancient wisdom meeting modern technology. Part 2. What is biohacking? Let's start with the question everyone is secretly asking. What is biohacking, really? The Cambridge Dictionary defines it as attempts to improve the condition of your body and mind using technology, drugs, or other chemical substances such as hormones. But researchers who studied the biohacking community on Twitter found something stunning. They collected over 1,200 tweets using the hashtags biohacking and biohacker. After filtering, they analyzed 528 real posts from real people who identify as biohackers, and what they found shattered the traditional definition. Biohacking is not primarily about technology. It is not about subdermal implants. It is not about genetic modification. The most common topics discussed were physical fitness and nutrition, not microchips, not CRISPR, not synthetic biology. Broccoli, breathwork, sleep, hydration, supplements, intermittent fasting. One biohacker tweeted, "The same things that kept you healthy for centuries still keep you healthy now. Sleep, sunlight, exercise, real food." Simple, timeless, radical. Because in a world drowning in ultra-processed food, artificial light, sedentary lifestyles, and chronic stress, choosing to sleep well, eat real food, and move your body is an act of rebellion. It is a biohack. And this is why researchers are now proposing a new, refined definition of biohacking. Intentional attempts by early adopters to improve the condition of their body and mind, often using technology, drugs, or other substances, but not exclusively. Notice the word intentional. Notice early adopters. Biohackers are people who decide, consciously, to optimize their biology before it becomes mainstream medical advice. They don't wait for a prescription. They don't wait for a doctor to tell them that sleep matters. They experiment, they measure, they evolve. That is the Biohacker Mindset. Part 3. The 3 Pillars. Body. Now let's go deeper. Let's explore the three major pillars that the biohacking community revolves around. The first pillar is the body. Physical health is the foundation of every biohacking protocol. And within physical health, there are layers, each one more fascinating than the last. Physical fitness is the entry point. Biohackers don't just work out, they engineer their workouts. They track heart rate variability, or HRV, to determine whether their body is recovered enough for high-intensity training. They use blood flow restriction training to build muscle with lighter weights and less joint stress. They time their cardiovascular sessions to align with their circadian rhythm. Weightlifting, CrossFit, HIIT, yoga, these are not just hobbies, they are biological inputs, precise tools for hormonal optimization, mitochondrial health, and longevity. And then there is the holy grail of biohacking physical health, sleep optimization. Your circadian rhythm is the master clock of your body. It controls cortisol, melatonin, testosterone, growth hormone, immune function, everything. Disrupting it is one of the fastest ways to accelerate biological aging. Biohackers use blue light blocking glasses to protect melatonin production. They track their sleep stages using wearables like the Whoop or the Oura Ring. They time their last meal. They drop the room temperature. They monitor deep sleep and REM cycles. One biohacker described using an app called Sleep Cycle, a sleep quantification tool and precision alarm clock, an app that all real biohackers need. And then there are hormones, testosterone, cortisol, dopamine. The biohacking community is deeply aware of hormonal optimization. Methods discussed include reducing ultra-processed food intake, managing hydration, practicing breath work to lower cortisol. One user specifically mentioned box breathing as a powerful tool to reduce stress hormones. Your hormones are the language your cells speak. Biohackers learn to speak it fluently. Part 4. Nutrition as the ultimate biohack. If physical fitness is the engine, then nutrition is the fuel. And no topic dominated biohacking discussions more than what people eat or deliberately choose not to eat. The biohacking community's approach to nutrition goes far beyond counting calories. It enters the realm of Nutrigenomics, the study of how specific nutrients interact with your specific genes. Supplements were the most discussed nutrition topic, and not your average multivitamin. We're talking about NAD+, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, a molecule critical for cellular energy production and DNA repair. Research suggests NAD+ levels drop with age, and biohackers are supplementing to restore them. We're talking about ketones, the fuel your brain burns when you reduce carbohydrates and enter a state of ketosis, faster thinking, fewer crashes, stable energy throughout the day. Nootropics, sometimes called smart drugs, were another massive category. These are compounds, both natural and synthetic, designed to enhance cognition, mental clarity, focus, and memory, from lion's mane mushroom to racetams to adaptogens. Coffee emerged as its own universe of discussion. Black coffee, appreciated for its antioxidant content and metabolic benefits, and bulletproof coffee, black coffee blended with grass-fed butter or MCT oil, designed to provide sustained energy without spiking blood sugar. There were also conversations about personalized nutrition, using blood tests and genetic analysis to determine exactly which nutrients your individual body needs, not a generic diet, a diet engineered for your unique biology. Probiotics, peptides, CBD, collagen, mushrooms, Ayurveda, adaptogens, vitamins, all featured in the Biohacker nutrition stack. One user tweeted it powerfully. You should add broccoli to your diet, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, selenium, sulforaphane, indoles. The most powerful pharmacy in the world is sometimes just your refrigerator. Food is information. Every bite you take sends signals to your DNA. Choose your signals wisely. Part 5. The Mind, Psychology and Mental Performance. Here is where biohacking becomes truly profound. Because the most advanced hardware in the known universe is not a quantum computer. It is not a neural implant. It is the 3-pound organ sitting inside your skull, your brain. The second pillar of biohacking is the psychology, the mind. And the biohacking community has built an entire philosophy around mental optimization. Mindfulness, meditation, breathwork, gratitude practices, stoicism, Buddhism, Taoism. These are not soft wellness trends. They are ancient technologies for hacking the nervous system, tools developed over thousands of years of human experimentation, now being validated by modern neuroscience. Studies show meditation physically changes the structure of the brain, increasing gray matter density in areas associated with focus, emotional regulation, and compassion. Regular breathwork activates the parasympathetic nervous system, shifting you from fight or flight into rest and repair. Biohackers track their mental states the same way they track their heart rate. Apps measure HRV as a proxy for nervous system balance. Journal entries monitor cognitive clarity. They rate their focus, energy, and mood with numerical scores. Self-development was another major theme, building habits, cultivating resilience, improving emotional intelligence, managing stress. One tweet captured the essence perfectly. Your state of mind is everything. There were also conversations about psychedelics, psilocybin, ketamine, emerging as revolutionary tools in the treatment of depression and PTSD. Researchers at prestigious institutions like Johns Hopkins and NYU are producing landmark studies. This is not fringe science anymore. This is the frontier of mental health medicine. And beyond the clinical, biohackers are exploring flow states, that experience of peak performance where the self disappears and pure capability emerges. Athletes call it being in the zone. Monks call it enlightenment. Biohackers call it optimized neurochemistry, and they are obsessed with getting there, intentionally, repeatedly, and sustainably. If you want to go deeper on neuroscience and biohacking, like this video and subscribe. There is so much more ahead.
Part 6. Science, Genetics, and the Frontier. The third pillar of biohacking takes us into territory that sounds like science fiction, but is already science fact. The science pillar. And its most discussed topic? Genetics. We are living through a genetic revolution. The cost of sequencing the human genome has fallen from $2.7 billion in 2003 to under $200 today. Consumer genetic testing companies have given millions of people access to their own DNA data. Biohackers use this data to understand their genetic predispositions, how they metabolize caffeine, how they respond to different diets, their risk for certain diseases, their optimal exercise types. This is Nutrigenomics and pharmacogenomics, precision biology at the individual level. CRISPR technology, clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, has emerged as a gene editing tool so powerful and so affordable that it is now accessible beyond institutional labs. Biohackers are discussing it. Some are experimenting with it. One tweet in the study raised a provocative point. Thanks to a technological revolution in genetic engineering, all the tools needed to create a virus have become so cheap, simple, and readily available that any college-age biohacker can use them. This is the dual nature of biohacking. The same tools that can optimize human health can also create existential risks. The same internet that allows a self-experimenter in Ohio to learn cutting-edge longevity protocols also allows dangerous information to spread globally at the speed of light. Other scientific topics in the biohacking community include the microbiome, the trillions of bacteria that live in your gut and influence your mood, immunity, and even your personality. Stem cells, heat shock proteins activated by sauna and cold exposure to promote cellular repair, mitochondrial optimization, the metabolism. These are not abstract concepts, they are levers, biological dials, and biohackers are learning to turn them. The body is not a fixed machine, it is a dynamic, responsive, upgradable system, and you hold the controls.
Part 7. Physical Therapies, Implants, and Human Enhancement. Now we enter the territory that most people imagine when they hear the word biohacking. Technology, devices, human enhancement. Physical therapy modalities within the biohacking community range from the ancient to the cutting edge. Grounding, also called earthing, is the practice of making direct skin contact with the Earth's surface, walking barefoot on grass, lying on the ground. Electrons from the Earth flow into the body, reducing inflammation and improving sleep. Ancient practice, now studied by researchers. Cold exposure, ice baths, cold showers, cryotherapy, triggers a hormetic stress response. The body, challenged by cold, activates repair mechanisms. Norepinephrine spikes. Brown fat activates. Inflammation decreases. Wim Hof made this mainstream. Biohackers were practicing it decades earlier. Sauna, particularly infrared sauna, elevates heat shock proteins, improves cardiovascular health, mimics the benefits of moderate exercise, and has been associated with reduced all-cause mortality in Finnish population studies. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, biofeedback training, red light therapy, near-infrared light panels targeting mitochondria, ozone therapy. These are not myths, they are tools, some well-researched, some still emerging, that biohackers are using to push the boundaries of human performance and longevity. And then there are implants, near-field communication chips, NFC chips, inserted under the skin, allowing biohackers to unlock doors, store digital data, make payments, all with a wave of their hand. Brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, technology that connects the nervous system directly to digital devices. Elon Musk's Neuralink, BrainGate, neural implants for paralysis patients. One biohacker on Twitter captured the sentiment perfectly. Embrace it. It's inevitable. We're all going to slowly merge with the machine. Is this unsettling? Perhaps. Is it unstoppable? Almost certainly. The question is not whether humanity will merge with technology. The question is whether we will do so wisely, with ethics, intention, and reverence for what it means to be human.
Part 8. Risks, Healthcare. With great power comes great responsibility, and biohacking is no exception. The freedom to experiment on your own biology without waiting for institutional approval is one of the most liberating forces in modern health culture. But it also carries real, significant risks. Misinformation spreads at the speed of a tweet. A supplement recommendation with no scientific basis can accumulate thousands of retweets before a single researcher has time to respond. Some biohacking supplements interact with prescription medications. Anticoagulants, blood thinners, combined with certain herbal supplements can dramatically increase bleeding risk. Some supplements affect liver and kidney function. Others cause toxicity at high doses. Consumer genetic tests and at-home blood panels can give people data they do not know how to interpret, leading to self-diagnosis and self-treatment that bypasses the guidance of a trained healthcare professional. Researchers are now calling on doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers to ask patients directly, are you engaged in any self-directed health practices? Are you taking any supplements? Because biohacking is happening whether healthcare systems acknowledge it or not. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated this dramatically. With access to traditional healthcare disrupted, millions turned to self-care, online health research, and biohacking communities for guidance. The information was not always accurate. The consequences were sometimes dangerous. The solution is not to suppress biohacking. The solution is better education, better integration, better conversation between ancient wisdom and modern medicine. Because at its best, biohacking is not anti-medicine, it is pro-human. It is the radical commitment to understanding your own biology, to not waiting passively for disease to arrive, to building a body, a brain, and a life that is optimized, vibrant, and resilient. The future belongs to those who understand their own biology. Save this video, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe for more biohacking, longevity, and human optimization content because we are just getting started. The upgrade is yours. The time is now.
Ooh, don't forget, always ask advices to physician before applying it.